Hi, I'm Amy and I'm the Digital Marketing Executive here at In Professional Development. And today I'm talking to Jackie Black, who is the Director of Digital Business Communications. And we're going to be having a little conversation around onboarding your new employees virtually during COVID-19. So hi Jackie, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks, Amy. Yes.
Good. I mentioned at the start that you are a director for digital business comms. It would be great if you could just give us a little bit of background about you really and what you do.
Yeah. So actually, I started my career as a language and communication skills trainer. And then over the last sort of 7 or 8 years, I saw a significant shift, I suppose, in people's need to work face to face, moving into the remote. And that's when I devised some training that's based more about how to deliver online presentations, how to facilitate conference calls. And I set up my own business, Digital Business Communication, back in 2014, with the aim of helping individuals and companies really to embrace the technology, but also see how important it is to have some kind of structure and method behind using the technology. So many people were familiar with FaceTime and Skype, but they're using it socially, and it's very different if you're communicating in a professional context. And of course, ironically, now here we all are using these different platforms on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And more recently, I've been working with some young Germans, some of whom had begun their career in the office, and others had been recruited just before lockdown and then joined, fully onboarded during lockdown.
Yeah.
And it really interested me how that process had happened, and maybe what we in the UK should be thinking about in terms of how we carry this on in the future, because for some people it's going to be very much a permanent or long-term situation.
Absolutely, and I suppose that's a great place to start then, isn't it? Looking at why it's important for business managers to feel confident when virtually onboarding new employees. So what advice would you have for employees, well, managers during this time?
For me, first, I think you've got to know how the technology is being used in the company and how you want it to be used, what it looks like, good communication. Because you often find that, everybody's got their own laptops at home, they're using maybe different systems. And if this isn't unified and you onboard someone and expect them to know how to work, you're going to run into problems. So to be confident, you've got to know how your company's technology works, but also maybe set up some best practices through discussion with your staff to work out, what tool do you use for which task. I think this is really important. When you've got the basis of that under control, then become the manager again and think how you're going to lead and support that new person. Because if you imagine you walked in on day one of your first day at work, you can look around in a concrete workplace, you can see people, you can identify who perhaps you're going to work with, and you've got that support visually. But if you're just plugging in your laptop on day one and you have no idea who the rest of your team is, who you should go to when you need help,
Yeah,
you're going to be lost, absolutely lost. Something that came to me this morning was, that you see a lot on social media, is these companies that have these lovely welcome package on your desk when you join. Think how you could do that. How are you going to make them feel welcome and really part of a working team? So that for me is important. How will you guide? How will you support? And you need to be confident that you have strategies and processes in place to make that happen.
Perfect. So I suppose leading from there, we could look at the flip side of this, which would say if you were, a new employee looking to onboard with a company, what tips would you have for those people? Because obviously, like you've identified, they're not going into the office, they're just plugging the laptop in, opening up and going, which would be quite daunting. So yeah, any tips would be great for them.
I think it's about finding your team and building relationships, and actually it can happen a lot faster, research has shown, when you're working virtually, because people build trust quicker. They have to. You've got to trust that the person on the other side is going to do what you want. So in that sense, it can be easier, but you either need to ask your line manager to set up a meeting where you can meet the people when you first go in. So it could be first day kind of mini presentation of you. And at this point, it's really good to have maybe one slide that identifies who you are, because you'll very soon become lost as another name in the system. And giving people that kind of visual link, oh yeah, the guy who likes rock climbing or whatever, makes it easier for people to get to know you. So I think that's good. And also you need to then maintain that relationship. So where you would have gone and had coffee with someone or lunch on day one, that ain't going to happen. So make it happen. Invite them to a virtual coffee. Have a little bit of chat going during the day. But I mean, be careful with the word chat. First of all, you've got to understand how your company works in terms of socializing with people. Do you use a messenger chat system? Have you got another collaborative tool like Slack that you will work with people? So find out what that is, how you will chat with people, and then use it regularly, just for small talk, because that's gone too. How you would have chatted first thing in the morning, do it online. Wake people up. Hi, how are you doing? What's your day looking like? That type of thing. But another really important thing that I learned from these guys working in Germany is they felt the pressure, especially in lockdown, to work all day and be online 24/7. That's not expected, I'm sure, of anybody. So it's being able to stop at the end of the day and to say, I'm not doing any more work today, I've done my hours. And to avoid things like what they call presenteeism, when you feel that you have to be seen, you have to be doing something. If you're feeling sick, and that happens to all of us, tell people that you're not well today. Don't try and struggle on, because that won't help either. So that kind of working aloud, voicing your feelings, letting people know how you feel is probably one of the most important things.
Oh, perfect. That pretty much covers everything we were looking to cover, doesn't it? And like you said, it is really important for people at this time to feel confident and able to kind of go into a new company with everything that they need. So yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic speaking with you today, and thank you very much for your time.
You're very welcome, Amy.
Thank you.
Thank you.